Euroverse. There's a ton of variation in how countries choose their Eurovision entries. The rules governing who can participate, the transparency of the process, and even the amount of corruption involved varies wildly.
These selection processes can be highly controversial. In the most dire cases, a country's broadcaster has had to change course and replace their act entirely.
So we're going to examine these controversies and discuss whether these countries' final answer as to who they sent to the big contest was right in the end. It's a game we're calling National Not Quite Final Answer.
And to help us sort through all of this, we are joined by the amazing Troy Iwata. You may have seen Troy's work in shows like We Crashed, Dash and Lily, movies like Summoning Sylvia, and most recently as a correspondent on The Daily Show.
So, Troy, we always like to ask our American guests, what is your relationship to Eurovision?
My first relationship was actually thanks to you. We were hanging out and you were just like, oh, you haven't seen Eurovision?
That's a good impression.
For those of you listening, Magnus did not just say that. That was
me.
Give it to us one more time.
Oh, you haven't seen Eurovision?
Incredible.
And then the only other thing is the Eurovision movie, which I'm sure everyone talks about. When the movie came out, everyone was like, they would have never won with the ballot. Well, they didn't win, but
I was going to say emotionally they won.
Yeah.
They realized that what's important is not who wins, but who civic. I don't know.
You tried, period.
Yes.
All right.
But that's it. That's my extent of the knowledge.
I think that makes you actually one of the more knowledgeable about Eurovision guests that we have had for this segment. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people know it exists.
Yeah.
Oh, and Celine Dion came from there. And so did ABBA.
Oh my God.
Wow.
You want to take over the podcast, Troy?
Yeah. Celine Dion and ABBA.
Eurovision. To get to this game, we are going to play you 2 clips per round.
Okay.
And they're both performers who got close to performing at Eurovision. Only one of them made it to the big stage. So we want you to guess which one made it, and we'll sort of talk about why those decisions were made and whether we agree.
Okay. Before we begin, can you say processes again?
Processes?
Okay.
I have so many weird,
no, it's classy. So you just say Reese's Pieces?
Maybe now I do.
Okay.
So whether or not my pronunciation makes sense to you, Troy, do the rules of the game make sense to you?
Yes.
Amazing.
First up is Belarus in 2012.
It's just number 1 on the list.
Yeah, just number 1. We're going to go to 2 next and then continue on in chronological order.
Oh, wow. You know? Okay. Wow.
It's one of those processes that
one of the... All right, here we go. There's nothing sexier than a beautiful woman dressed slutty playing an electric viola. She's very talented. I think she has a big career ahead of her.
Oh, okay. Well, we're about to find out.
Now you can move to video number 2, which is Light Sound, We Are the Heroes.
This the same year?
They competed in the same competition.
In
only
the
one of them made it.
I like how the chorus is just like, we are the heroes, and they look like a pit crew who came in and saved the day.
Although I don't know that I would trust any of those guys to save me from anything.
No, there's too much product in there.
Yeah, a lot of product.
You have 2 songs that competed in 2012 to represent Belarus.
Yeah.
Which one ended up representing Belarus that year?
I feel like there's probably some political answer, right?
Always.
The fact that the men are singing We Are the Heroes.
Oh, that's a great angle.
It's like, we need to come through the gate and
I mean, that is very much the sort of ideology of the Belarusian administration.
But again,
so
I'm gonna go with Belarus Lit a Sound.
So We Are the Heroes by Light Sound did go to Eurovision that year. Alonia's song actually was the one that won the national final and was selected. And then it became clear that she had rigged the vote. To the point where Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko, actually opened up an investigation into it.
So there wasn't a lot going on in Belarus that year.
He's got also very particular interests, like taking care of his people, not one of them. So next we are going to go to Poland in 2023. The first song we're going to hear from the national finals is a song called Solo by the performer Blanka.
So clear to see. No, but it's solo.
Oh, cute. I like the first frame.
Yeah, no,
There are certain times where I feel like the aesthetic and the spectacle takes precedent over the talent, but at the expense of the artist. They put her in this high pony and this tiny outfit and these heels, making her dance everywhere. She was clearly out of breath, but I don't blame her.
Yeah.
Because they were making her do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And in the end, they shoot fire at her.
Yeah.
That's mean.
Things are rough in Poland.
They're cold there.
Yeah. It was a relief.
Yeah.
Okay. So next, we have Jan with Gladiator.
Okay. Grungy. That's a man.
That is a man.
I mean, however they identify. That's a really beautiful person with a penis.
No, exactly.
It was giving a mixture of like Shelley Duvall and like...
Oh my God.
This first frame is if Shelley Duvall went punk.
Did you see when that was like a big trend on social media?
Hi, I'm Shelley Duvall.
Yes.
No.
All the kids, they would just be going like, hi, I'm Shelley Duvall. And like, none of them knew who she is.
That kind of love it about Gen Z, but they really are into grabbing and decontextualizing like old pieces of pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
Like all these like prep kids who are wearing Nirvana shirts because they've now decided that Nirvana means prep. Like preppy, sorry. I saw the confusion on your face when I said Nirvana means prep. I was like, here.
I have to go to my doctor and renew my Nirvana.
Yeah. But also, like, in their defense, I feel like humans have just done that forever. Carrie Underwood did a commercial, and it wasn't until
on the edge of my seat.
It wasn't until the end of the commercial that I realized it wasn't Jennifer Lopez. They just did her hair in a way and her makeup and her outfit.
Didn't Meryl Streep just do that in a movie where you were like, who is this person? Who is this
J-Lo.
person? Oh my God, it's J-Lo. No.
I couldn't believe like what an amazing portrayal J-Lo did of Margaret Thatcher. And then I was like, wait a minute, that's Shelley Duvall.
Oh, we have fun here at the pod.
Yeah.
Oh, right, you haven't watched it yet.
Moscow never take it or put it to word if it's not true. Whatever you tell yourself it's not true. Power's what I'm making. Mixes like it's 8-bit. I'm picking your new favorite. You buy it and I savor it. 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 Buy it and I savor it. You buy it and I savor it.
What an interesting individual. No, I love it.
If anyone ever talked about me that way, I would not assume that they like me.
No, I actually meant it as a compliment. The whole time I was watching, I was just like, who was this person in high school? When people have such a distinct image and aesthetic
Yeah, you know
to
they
themselves,
went through some shit.
I like the idea that they were the polar opposite in high school, and every one of their peers is watching it like, is that Jan?
Yeah. Because
Oh my
Jan in high school, I'm pretty sure, was dressed like Blanca.
Yeah.
You watched Solo, you watched Gladiator. Only one of them ended up representing Poland. What are your thoughts?
I think that Gladiator was more interesting than Solo, but only just because I've seen Solo so many times, in the sense of like,
It's a very straightforward
the aesthetic was
pop
very,
song.
yeah. So honestly, because of that, I have a feeling that Solo made it.
You are 100% correct.
Yeah.
There was a tremendous amount of controversy over this because, you know, Jan definitely has a bit of a queer aesthetic. And Poland's government was a pretty right-wing regime that had sort of transformed the national broadcaster into a propaganda outlet.
Oh, okay. So in translation, it means that they were turned on by Jan and it scared them.
And
They were scared by their own erections.
I know.
But basically the controversy was around this idea that Jan was not so favored by the broadcaster.
Okay.
Yeah, the televote was very much in favor of Jan.
A lot of the anger ended up being projected onto Blanca.
That's not fair. It's
Yeah.
always the women who get the
Yeah,
worst
exactly.
side.
Blanca had such a glow up on that performance.
Yeah.
Once she got to Eurovision and the dance moves like sharp.
Yeah,
like
it became a hit at Eurovision,
Yeah.
which to Troy's point, the problem was exactly what you said it was. The choreography and production was like not designed to showcase her.
Next up is Spain's 2017 national final.
Okay.
So the first one you're going to listen to is Manel, Do It For Your Lover.
You have to. This is the rules.
Yeah, these are the rules of lovers.
That's what every best friend in every rom-com has ever said.
Do it for your
You
lover.
have to do it for your lover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These people need new
The
friends.
amount of times Margaret Cho has said that in a movie.
Do you think at this point she just has a pre-recorded clip that she licenses
she's
out?
like, here.
Do it for your lover, do it for your lover, baby. Clap your hands and do it for your lover.
Not what I thought this was going to look like. It's very hipster, very indie. It looks like he's standing in front of a Polaroid. That's what I love about art. It's unexpected.
Yeah, well, it's actually like there are very few stage performances that are essentially like sitting down and watching someone's vacation slides.
This could be Timothée Chalamet. We would have no idea. Call me crazy, but I don't really have a positive reaction to just seeing a bunch of like youth pastors on a stage taking a lot of what seems like Jamaican influence into their music.
Yeah.
That guy on the keyboard literally was using one finger, but was bouncing with the passion.
Well,
that
he found the best note.
He found the best note, so he should be very proud of himself. I don't have the strongest connection to this song.
It doesn't describe your experience.
No, I don't do a lot for my lover.
Yeah.
So next up, you have Mirela with Contigo.
Sonreír contigo. Hay una fiesta en mi cabeza. Baila, la, la. Baila, la, la, la. Contigo. Hay una fiesta en mi
Okay, I already love it.
Yeah.
And because of that, I know that this one didn't make it. Aww. There's a story.
What is
She's
the
in
story?
love with this man. Her friends are supportive of it. Oh, they found a field to lie down in. It's a beach, JK. Because this was so much better, I know that this one didn't make it.
That is 100% correct. The jury's absolutely loved Do It For Your Lover. And he was like way down at the bottom televote wise. And so the jury's elevated him to be the winner. And it was considered such a scandal that actually on the live broadcast, the entire audience started booing the selection. I know. How's that for some juicy drama?
Oh no, how did
I
Manel
know.
handle it?
I think he handled it not well.
Oh, okay.
Manel has become iconic.
Okay.
Well,
In what
yes.
sense?
The voice crack.
Yes.
So not for a reason that he wants.
Yeah.
Oh,
But if
no.
someone was going to
I
pick the most
know.
iconic voice crack in Eurovision history, it is Manel.
The point is to be remembered. For what? You don't have control over it.
I know, but he's a
Exactly.
man, and men don't like to be embarrassed. They get
I
mad.
know.
Oh,
well,
that's
that's
true.
We should be talking about Mirela.
Mirela.
She was fantastic.
That
Stage
song-
presence,
yes.
beauty, talent. There was story. She's an actress. Her vowel placement was beautiful.
Yes.
Huh?
Unfortunately, vowel placement was probably not one of
Of
the
the
criteria
criteria.
that the jury was using. But I don't know.
For the next one,
Mhm.
Troy, we are staying with Spain, but we are moving to 2022. So first up, you have Chanel with the song Slow Mo.
Now, you've probably explained this to me before, but most of these songs are in English.
There was at a period of time a requirement to sing in their national language. That requirement hasn't been around since the 90s.
And just to appeal to the masses, they like to do it.
Even artists in Norway who are not necessarily trying to have an international career
Yeah.
still write in English.
Yeah,
So
it's a marketing thing. It's the same
Yeah.
with like why they sing English in a lot of K-pop songs.
Right. No,
Yeah.
100%. A lot of it is, wait, here's your big opportunity in front of 180 million people and you want them to vote for you. Probably the pressure is to sing in a language that most of the televoters understand.
Yeah.
Take a video, watch it slow mo. Booty hypnotic, make you want more. Yeah. Voy a bajarlo del suelo. Lo. If the way she could do this dembow.
Ooh, colorful. Okay. She took her shirt off. Not really, just her jacket. She's a dancer. Oh my God. That was amazing.
I will say watching your face during that was great because
Yeah.
I feel like Chanel does to you what gay people does to a straight woman in a gay bar.
Oh,
know.
just like
The surprise.
No, because the amount of times I've seen when like you get people do a really gay move on the dance floor and there'll be like a straight girl going,
I never
love."
would have thought of that.
Oh my God. They're so free.
Okay.
yeah.
We
We're
have-
still in Spain. Okay.
Tan Shogueras with Terra.
My favorite thing about trios of women is there's always two of them who you know are better friends and then there's the third.
Oh,
Because you
the
can see when they're
heartbreak.
singing, there's two of them that look at each other way more, and the third one is
Yeah.
like, yeah. Also, these two men dancing in skirts, it just reminds me of like me and my brother would dance to like classical music on our fireplace, and we put like t-shirts on our heads and around our waist.
Who do
As
we-
far as like interesting goes, Tera, I was more entertained by the first one. This is hard because I think both actually are equally strong. I'm gonna say Tera went through. No, I got it wrong.
Yeah,
First wrong.
It was slow-mo, but I was actually so surprised by this because you look at slow-mo and it's kind of like, this is entertainment. This
Yeah.
is so engaging. She's a great dancer. It's like a poppy song. That was the jury favorite. And the people wanted Tara.
The morning after Chanel was selected, the Spanish broadsheet?
Yeah.
It's a broadsheet newspaper.
Or it's a misogynistic sheet for women. Yeah.
Hey, Toots, come over here.
Yeah.
The morning after Chanel was selected, Spanish newspaper El Mundo ran an editorial with the headline, Chanel at Eurovision. What a mistake. What a huge mistake.
Oh no.
People who are Eurovision fans, to the point that they're watching a national final, tend to like things that are culturally embedded in their own country, right? Terra is a song in Galician.
Chanel is not from Spain. So that might be
where's
part
she
of it.
from?
She's from South America. There is this element of this act is representing our country. The thing about Chanel, too, is the fact that she did extremely well at Eurovision. She came in third place.
Oh.
If the 2023 rules had been in place for 2022, she would have been in second place. So 6 jury votes were thrown out because of colluding jury votes
Oh my God.
between countries. The rule in 2022 was that if a jury vote got thrown out, they would use like a computer generated thing where they would go based on countries that vote similarly to this country in the past.
Complicated.
It is very complicated. In 2023, they changed it that if a jury vote gets thrown out, they double the televote for that country instead.
Chanel at Eurovision, the international competition, was a televote favorite and not a jury favorite.
Well, because then other countries get their say.
Exactly. It feels like actually the way primaries work. In the primary, you're having the most like passionate people vote. So
Yes.
they choose the real extremes. And then it's like most people are just like, I want like kind of a middle boring person.
A lot of national finals have started adding in international juries because what our country will pick might not be something that a broader audience will love.
When you nominate a song, is the point of it representing your country, your culture, the tastes of your people at the time? Or is it just purely competition?
It's understandable, but it's also sad. You would
Yeah.
hope that the point of this whole thing is to like, we get to learn about what other countries like.
This is why I've had such a good time with this podcast, is it's like no matter what topic we talk about with Eurovision, it always comes back to the same thing, which is like, what is Eurovision? Is Eurovision a cultural event sponsored by public broadcasters, or is it like American Idol on steroids? You
Right,
know,
right.
I
it
think
kind
the
of
answer
goes
is
back and
both.
forth. This is Ukraine's 2022 national finals. First, we're going to watch Alina Pash, Shadows of Forgotten Ancestors.
Okay.
Would have breathed the divine tragedy, but we need Picasso's doll is the divine strategy. And my childhood girls played with toy dolls, but I wrote these words here, cause my favorite toy was a book of Shakespeare. Just like the brothers scream, I leave behind a piece of me. Remember your ancestors, but write your own history.
Love the color palette. Absolutely. The color palette is absolutely gorgeous. Very theatrical. I like it.
Yeah.
I also love when people can do that sort of cry yodel. And this is at the preliminaries or
Like a national final.
I want to
Yeah.
hold off my thoughts until I watch the second one.
That's very smart, Troy. You're getting really good at this game.
Thank you so much. I just want to be fair to everybody.
Well, now you're going to move to Kalush Orchestra, Stefania.
this aesthetic is Godspell, as well as just like the traveling acting troupe in Midsummer Night's Dream.
That's the theater piece we need to do.
Yeah.
College Orchestra plays the mechanicals. Constructa is Hermia.
It like cut to a clip of one of the judges and she like knew the words. Is that not weird?
So that was Jamala, featured on the podcast.
These songs get released. For people beyond the country to listen to these songs, you have to be really, really interested.
I didn't know if like what they were singing was like a traditional song that they like.
Oh, no. So all songs
redid.
in Eurovision have to be new.
Okay. The first one was clearly more of a political and heartfelt message. And this one seems a little bit more celebratory. You know how sometimes on RuPaul's Drag Race, there's always a queen who does somewhat of a preaching to the choir PSA about queer people and the queer community. And you're watching it like, this is fine. Wrong audience.
Yeah.
You're in a drag competition. It's like, drag is valid.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, now
it's
for
not
the
a-
first time I'm considering it might not be.
Yeah. It's not it. And therefore, it's actually going to be translated as a poor performance. And I'm wondering if this is a situation where the first one, because they were performing it to their own country, they're kind of like, we already know. I think they picked the second one.
That is correct.
Yeah.
The reasoning behind is a little complicated.
Yes. Alina Posh won the national final. And then it came out that in 2014, 2015,
She smoked pot
I...
and she inhaled.
And unfortunately, but no, so she visited Crimea in the aftermath of Russia's invasion.
Okay.
And so this is illegally annexed territory. It is against Ukrainian law.
Then College Orchestra went on to win the whole competition. There
Yeah,
was a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
of sympathy in Europe. Like, of course, there's always going to be a debate. Some people like, oh, was it a sympathy win?
Relevance.
Matters.
Yeah.
Right.
When with art.
I
I feel like
the
it's
song is a bit of a banger, though.
I
do
do
like Stephanie
like,
M.
and it's
ignorant to think that they're mutually exclusive.
exactly, yes,
Right,
100%.
It's like,
Right.
of course they are.
Yeah.
That's the reason that art affects us. Is time is a huge factor.
It's
of
like,
that.
I think is one of the cool things about Eurovision. It's impossible to ignore the politics of the music because the music comes representing different countries.
But the question is, post-game,
yeah.
like, what have you learned?
I was ignorant of how political this competition is, which is actually dumb because everything has like a political take in our society now.
But not dumb at
But-
all because the organization does advertise itself as not political.
Troy, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
on the pod.
Thank you so much for having me on your podcast.
All the mysteries of the Euroverse.